This video is sponsored by Renaissance Bank, the best bank in the South. Visit RenaissanceNation.com.
Hey, what's up? Matt Wyatt here. Time to take a look. Big game from this past week. Top 10 matchup, and LSU squeaks out of there, 23-20. Big win for the home team, and look, Auburn went in there and challenged them. Auburn's defense couldn't get a key stop or two, and they were going to have it because the offense was not throwing the ball consistently. They hit some big plays in the throw game, and we saw at the end, even though Bo Nix at times struggles with the accuracy, he's a true freshman, but he has a little bit of that ability to put some drives together at the end of games and in crunch time when you absolutely have to have it. So it was really a fun finish to watch. Here's a few plays from the game. Let's see how they happen. Second quarter, LSU down 3-0. Get a guy across the field for a completion and start a scoring drive. It's a 5-man route because the running back's out. Get a guy across. Let's go back and look at formation and play. So for LSU, 3 receivers close to the formation, including a tight end. And the running back is opposite the quarterback, who's actually going to release this way. Defensively, Auburn goes 4-man front, 2 linebackers, with what looks like nickel personnel in the game. So third linebacker is actually an extra safety. He's right here. But because he's here, that's 7 on the line of scrimmage and a safety back here and 1 off the screen here. So a 2-high safety look. What they are doing is playing man to man. And linebacker play side has the tight end, and they're going to jump in man right here on these receivers. So it's man with 2 guys free, and they're only rushing 4. The whole route, they're going to clear out on the 3 receiver side, bring the tight end with a delay release across. On top of him is the crosser who catches the football, and they're even going to bring that back out so that everybody's out. It's like an empty route and 5-man protection. So a lot going on the play. In order to get across, he has to fight through the contact of his defender. And then this becomes kind of a flood or levels concept. The back is going to be underneath. The crosser's coming intermediate to this side, and you're going to have a deep guy on the sideline as well. So 3 different levels over here on this side of the field, and the intermediate is the one who can run away from his guy man-to-man the best. And he puts it on. Big completion, first down. All right, so later in the drive, let's watch the play first. He gets 1-on-1 to the short side of the field or the boundary on the numbers, goes back shoulder, good protection, completion again. But what I want to notice here is it's not a misread because you get a completion, but you miss the opportunity for a touchdown right here. And I'll show you why. The safeties on the snap are rotating 1 down, 1 back, and so they're rotating that single high safety look. And so the quarterback's going to see that. He's going to know that safety is going back to the middle of the field. So play fake, but I think his eyes are still on the safety. So the key here is that safety going that way. He knows it. And because he's running away from the boundary or back into the middle of the field, quarterback knows I've got 1-on-1 back here. And the other safety walked down and is coming off the edge. And he senses that and feels that. The tight end's out in the route. And so he's going to feel like, I've got to get rid of this football on time. I can't hold it. But the safety that rotates never gets really off the hash. He goes back that way, but he never gets over here to the middle of the field. So you have a 1-on-1 also to the other boundary with nobody, any chance whatsoever to get over there over the top. And you're going to see in the TV shot that he actually gets open for a touchdown. So watch him up top run by him. And that's actually the defender, the safety that initially rotated back here and has run over. So to reiterate, they miss a touchdown to the 1-on-1 receiver, the far side of the field, versus the corner number 4. So on the very next play, this is really smart football. They go back to that same matchup, get a formation that gets them 1-on-1 against the same corner with the same receiver, play action the other way, and throw it in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. So obviously, they talked about it in the huddle. Quarterback knows it. Coaches saw it on the previous play, wanted that matchup, had it for a touchdown, come right back and hit it. It's really smart football. And I'll show you a couple of other things as well. Instead of 1 safety, they have 2 in the middle of the field. And they're actually going to play action this way, this time as opposed to the previous play, they play action to the right. Another thing is, after the play fake, notice how Joe Burrow puts his eyes to this side of the field where they've completed 2 balls, and that's very intentional. He knows he's going up here to this one-on-one. He just wants to hold these defenders where they are as he looks to this side of the field using his eyes. The other thing is, LSU gets away with a very clear holding right here by their right tackle. Watch him pull the defensive end down. So again, that's a really clear hold. And you actually have 2 officials standing right here watching it and decide not to call it. It doesn't matter, though, because you would have had a pass interference in the end zone, so at the very least it would have been offsetting. And that's just an example of the game within the game. How coaches, players too, quarterbacks on the field, receivers, they're communicating in between each play. A lot of times as fan media, we don't see that or hear that, and we don't think about it, but they're noticing these little things on the field, and the best teams, best players find that, come back to it at the right time. Just a great example of you miss it, get away with it because you throw a back shoulder, come right back, go right back to that same matchup, beat them again, win the one-on-one, and hit a big play. Smart football. Here's right before halftime, Auburn holding LSU out of the end zone. And they want the slant to the tight end. They can get a first down if they get it inside the 1, but Auburn holds them out. What's interesting about this, LSU, this is 3rd and 10, the 3rd down play. And 2 plays earlier on first down, they lined up in this exact formation and ran the exact same play, and that is outside slants with inside releases trying to get to the back corners of those end zones. So verticals inside. And Joe Burrow chose this one-on-one corner, but Auburn covered it and knocked it down on first down. They come right back on 3rd down, that same exact play, and Auburn changes it up. They give them man-to-man coverage across the board, nobody back here in the end zone, and make it look as if we're going to man it up and come after you on 3rd down with an all-out blitz, which he'd have to throw hot. But then they drop. So all 3 underneath in the middle defenders dropping, and the 2 outside looking outside to try and find the slant routes. They know they're coming. So because of that, you get the completion in front, but you have the defenders there to keep them out of the end zone and force a field goal. It's great 3rd down defense. Auburn got a couple of big plays in the run game. Here is a sprint draw. Looks like sprint out, handed in there on a draw. He pops it out the backside. Make a linebacker miss, and now he's on the next level. So really nice run, too, on the next level. Made a couple miss, ran through a tackle. Really strong finish to the run. So I said sprint draw, and the action really works perfectly the way you design it against the defense for LSU, and their alignment helps. So they line up with 1 safety on each hash, but on the snap of the ball, he's actually staying down, and this safety is rotating back to the middle to be a single high safety. And so it's actually rotating what's a 2 high safety look into cover 3, so 3 deep. By doing that, they're going to bring this defender off the edge, the 3rd outside linebacker, and watch the action of the quarterback. So he catches the snap, heads left like he's sprinting out. That's going to affect the linebackers who are staying in the middle. You see play side inside linebacker stepping up or to his right, even though the play is designed to come out the backside. So that's exactly what you want. And then backside linebacker away from the play is actually going to float or step back this way. Again, influenced by the movement of the quarterback, exactly what you want. So there he goes. You've seen him now sprint to the field. And even after the handoff is made, he still is unclear if the quarterback has the football right now or not. So one off the edge because of the rotation of the secondary, another affected by the play action, and they're running themselves out of the play. So the sprint, and then draw back this way is working perfectly to influence the linebackers. So you see how close it is. That's the defender who was the weak side linebacker that ran away, and now because of the width that he got, he can't get back over to the ball carrier. And then it's a matter of, a running back making people miss and being more physical and finishing. Really interesting play design here by Auburn. They're actually going to motion out of the pistol, bring the back up, and then power this back to the backside and pop it for a huge run. It looked like a zone run, the same action as a zone read type of play. I'm going to come back and show you. It's a good job of that official to mark him out right there and being in the right spot. But again, the action of the quarterback and the way that they have what looks like a mesh point right there in the shotgun, it's similar to a zone read where you're not blocking it in and the quarterback's going to read it. But if you look, it's not what they're doing at all, because a tackle turns out on the end to the outside. It's big on big there. And you have a tight end in who's down on the linebacker, the edge defender. And then you're pulling up inside to meet the first in that A gap with the up back. So it's really power football. Now, again, stepping down on the play side, they're not moving laterally, which is what they want right here with a tackle blocking the end to the outside. But watch this. You wonder if it's wasted motion sometimes when a quarterback fakes the throw after the handoff, but watch what it does to this backside linebacker. Okay, so the handoff's been made. The running back has the football right here, but the eyes of this linebacker are still back there. I don't think he quite knows. And watch his feet, this linebacker, when the quarterback fakes a throw. Just an arm motion, no football. Watch the movement of the linebacker. You see that? One little fake, and now he took one step this way because he can't, again, quite clearly see that the running back has the football. So the running back is in the line of scrimmage, and yet he does not really know that the running back has it. And that's why he pops the run out the backside. So he steps out of bounds at about the 8. And that's actually a really good job of this official to hustle and be in position to see that he stepped out right there. Watch this goal line play for LSU. 4 receivers, including the running back. They motion the running back out of there and then try to throw that screen where they block in front of it, and Auburn just blows it up. Auburn was very ready for this, and they had seen it on film from LSU earlier in the year. But it's one where I think LSU may be outsmarting itself here, because they're going to motion the running back, but they get there by lining him up as one of that bunch of 4 receivers. So what Auburn does on 4th and goal, they're playing man-to-man. So they've got 4 defenders here. They're going to play it as some type of man-to-man. But when the motion happens across, they don't run with him. They don't remove a defender. So again, you notice none of these guys run across with him. They're going to hand this off to one of the guys here on the backside and hand it off instead of running with him. So by doing that, lining him up here, LSU essentially put 4 defenders on the next level because of their formation. When he ran across, nobody left. So now you're going to have 2 blockers for what are 4 defenders who pretty much know this play is coming. So on the snap, they get the first man inside blocked. They're going to get the next one blocked, but it's a free defender here who had him in man-to-man, a free from the inside to help, and they sandwich him at the line of scrimmage right there. So it's defended really well, and the pre-snap formation actually hurt LSU, I believe, by putting an extra defender over there. That was a big stop by Auburn. And look, Auburn had seen it on film before. They were prepared. They knew that play was coming on the goal line. Go back to the first game of the year for LSU. Here you are back in the red zone. Screen on the goal line from under center. And it's a really good way to do it. Under center, 1 step, get the ball out more quickly. Touchdown. Third quarter, 3-point lead for LSU. 3rd down. They're going to bring 6 with a twisting linebacker and get free to the quarterback. Nice sack. So you look at what they're doing here. They line up with 5 defenders on the line of scrimmage. So those 4 are your defensive ends, defensive tackles, and a linebacker on the edge and a linebacker in the middle. Ball is just off the left hash, and they've got the wide side of the field where the formation is with 3 receivers. So on the snap, the formation is set to block these 5 with their hands on the line of scrimmage, and the running back is staying in the protection. But it's not a linebacker that's coming off the wide side of the field edge. He's going to drop. And what they're going to do is bring 45 all the way around the defensive tackle. So what we'll see is defensive tackle backside will come across the face of the guard, inside. That's happening right there to make room for that linebacker to come inside the tackle off the guard. And the sixth blocker who would have him, the running back, has no idea that he's coming. It's a bust in the protection, and he's unblocked. Here's that quarterback draw out of empty for a touchdown. Auburn man-to-man across with two in the middle, one of which is bracketing the inside slant. The other is eyeing the quarterback, and that linebacker runs out of there. So the play call works on 3rd and 2. 2 receivers in the short side of the field, 3 receivers wide side of the field. Auburn lines up in man-to-man across the board on every receiver, and that leaves 2 defenders to play the middle of the field, a safety and a linebacker. On the snap, backside safety is going to look up the slant. You can see that happening, and you see the job of the linebacker is to eyeball the quarterback and spy him the whole way. And here's what's curious about the play of the linebacker. If you rewind it just a bit, watch at the point right here that Joe Burrow decides to tuck. See, he's planting on that back foot. His front foot that he's going to run off of is right on the 13. In the moment that he actually decides to run and begins forward, the linebacker's eyes are still on the quarterback. At the moment the quarterback decides to run, the linebacker is looking at the quarterback. But his body has already habitually decided that it's going to drop into the end zone. So even though he can see quarterback's coming, he's already begun to drop and is going to continue that. So at the point Burrow begins to move forward and get his momentum going, now the linebacker has turned his head and is not even looking at the quarterback. Here is Auburn's slant route for a touchdown late 4th quarter. They just get it into the short side, and he puts it on him. This is a pretty good lesson how the formation that you line up in can work to get people open, the right people open. If you notice, the running back is to the right of the quarterback, and LSU down here on the goal line, they're playing man-to-man on all these receivers with a free safety roaming around, but they're also with the 2 defenders on the inside, those 2 inside linebackers. They are responsible for these backs in this deal. So one is shadowing the quarterback and the other is shadowing the running back. Well, because you line the running back up to the right of the QB, it goes ahead and positions these guys just a little farther to their left, to your right, back this way. If he's lined up into the boundary, linebacker may line up a step closer. And if you block that side, it's that much closer for that linebacker to drop into the lane once the running back stays in protection. I'll show you what I mean. So again, to the right side of the formation, the running back is stepping up. So on the snap, as the quarterback's dropping, that linebacker who's responsible, or the linebackers who are responsible for eyeing, are staying in the middle, or 2, one's on the right side of the hash. Once he turns to look up and throw the slant, he's going to go outside because of the position of the linebacker, but because he's where he is, as the ball gets there, that 1 extra yard of separation is what allows the window to be open. Had that linebacker lined up a little farther that way, if the running back were over here, he's got that much better of a chance to drop underneath and break this pass up, or force you to try to force it in here to the inside slant where the safety's waiting on it. So the pre-snap formation, a little thing like putting the back on the right side, is very intentional. Put those linebackers a little farther away from the backside slant, and now it's open for a touchdown. All right, thanks for watching. And as always, thanks to Renaissance Bank for sponsoring these videos. They really are the best bank in the South. Hope you'll check them out at favrates.com. Also, hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. I am Radio Wyatt. Love to hear from you. Feedback, comments, questions, opinions, criticism, anything like that. Subscribe on YouTube. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/Radio Wyatt. All right, see you next time. See ya.